And I'm sorry. So just briefly, just to give a brief recount, no, because I wasn't sharing this. As we can see on the screen, the earliest recorded ancestors of the Sottos were Gaspar de la Cruz and Maria Baltazara, who both did not have a formal family name when they were alive. However, by the time their son Juan was born, they started using the last name Pasamonte. This was as early as the 1720s. Juan Pasamonte later married Clara Monica, and one of their children, Francisco, also used the family name Pasamonte. Now, this is where we enter into the Sotto family because Francisco's daughter, Anastasia Agustina, was married to Valeriano de Sotto. And if you can see here, the earliest ancestors of the Sotto family were actually using the family name with the particle de and the Sotto under its original spelling, just with a single T. Only later generations did the Sotto, the current Sotto spelling with the two T's, became the common used family name. Now, we don't know anything about the father of Valeriano de Sotto, Joseph or Jose de Sotto, and his wife Maria de Anunciacion, except that based on records, they were both from Quiapo. In Manila. Now, the marriage record of Valeriano de Sotto and Anastasia, we can see from this particular, can you see this record?
Yes, sir, we can see it, sir.
Yeah, we can see from this particular record, this was a portion of the marriage record of Valeriano, that the family name was De Sotto, and he was natural or originally from the pueblo of Quiapo. And his father, as you can see on the bottom portion of this record, was Joseph. This is the JPH is actually a shortcut of the name Joseph or Jose, and obviously this should be De Sotto. As we can see from that record, the family was originally from Quiapo, but sometime in the 1780s, the family already transferred to Binondo. As we know, Binondo was and still is a Chinese, is a place where a lot of the Chinese Filipino communities live. Valeriano de Sotto was described originally as an Indio. However, according to the baptismal record of his son, Pantaleon, who was born in 1796, let's take a look at the record. Pantaleon, now the last name has now shifted to Sotto. The particle de is no longer used. So by the time Pantaleon was born, the family name was now just Sotto, but still with a single letter T. If we take a look at this second box portion of the birth record of Pantaleon, there is the racial classification of Mestizo Español. And it is said that the father of Pantaleon, who is Valeriano, is now known to be from Binondo, Manila. So, we record that by the time Pantaleon was born, the family of Valeriano was already living in Binondo and no longer in Quiapo. And for some reason, they exerted their mestizo-ness during this time because in earlier records, they were not classified as Mestizo Español, but by the time their son Pantaleon was born, he was already described as Mestizo Spanish. So we're not sure how much Mestizo blood Pantaleon has, but because the De Sotto family has always been used even before the Caveria Decree of 1849, which decreed that all Filipinos without a last name must have a last name. So we can safely conclude that at least somewhere up in the family tree of the Sottos, they have a Spanish ancestor who was most likely also surnamed Sotto, because this last name is not a product of the Claveria surname decree. Now, Valeriano and his wife Anastasia Agustina had at least 2 children. Of course, the other one, as we showed earlier, was Pantaleon Sotto, who was born in 1796. Now, he married Brigida Legazpi, and they had 5 children. One of these was Marcelino Antonio Sotto. And as we can see on the timeline on the left side of the screen, Marcelino de Sotto was the first in his generation, or in the family, to migrate to the province of Cebu. And in fact, as we can see in the records of the protocolos of Cebu province, as early as the 1860s, Marcelino was already in Cebu City. And in fact, this signature of his was seen in one of the protocolar records that's still available today. Marcelino married Pascuala Yap, and according to his own children, Filemon and Vicente, the early years of Marcelino and Pascuala were not really. It showed that the family came from. It was a rags to riches story. Marcelino was said to be a cargador. This is in the words of Vicente Sotto in his recollections later on, and his own mother, Pascuala, although the daughter of a Chinese man, was said to be a tendera of puso, or hanging rice. So basically, the Sotto family started out humbly in Cebu City, and although they had other children, their only 2 surviving children were Filemon Sotto and of course his younger brother Vicente Sotto, as we know. Filemon Sotto, the elder brother, born in 1872, as we know, had a dalliance with Remedios Duterte, and this is where the family tree of the Sottos become a little bit even more interesting. Remedios Duterte, just click on the link here. Remedios Duterte was a member of the prominent mestizo Spanish Duterte family of Parian. She was also the illegitimate daughter of Don Isabelo Veloso Duterte, from the rich mestizo Chinese Veloso family, also of Parian. Isabelo Duterte was a love child also of Francisca Junicia Duterte and Veloso. From his legal family, he had Don Facundo Duterte, who, as we know, is the grandfather of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. So if we take a look at this family tree, the connection between the Sottos and the Dutertes is actually pretty recent when we come to think of it. And in fact, if we take a look down here, the love child of Senator Filemon Sotto and Remedios Duterte was Pascuala Sotto, whose son, Antonio Pahang, is the common cousin of both President Rodrigo Roa Duterte and Senate President Vicente Sotto III. So this is just one of those interesting things that we can find when we dig up the family tree of people. Even not so popular people, we will find a lot of interesting things in the family tree. So let's go back to the main family tree. But of course, we know that Senator Filemon Sotto married legally Carmen Ralios, the daughter of Florentino Ralios, municipal president or former mayor of Cebu City. Now, Senator Vicente Sotto married legally Maria Festin Ojeda. Now, this is the first one in the family tree of the Sottos that would give the Sottos of today their Cebuano blood, because Maria Festin Ojeda was born in Dumanhog, Cebu. Her maternal side was from Sambuan, and her father was from Dumanhog. So by marrying Maria Festin Ojeda, the Sottos had their first drop of Cebuano blood, although they have been at least 2 generations already in Cebu. Now, they had 6 children: Marcelino, Voltaire, Galileo, Tagacota, Britannia, and Suga. We will not be discussing their line because we will be tracing only the line of the Sottos until the generation of Senator Vicente Sotto and their children. So Marcelino Antonio Sotto married Dr. Herminia Castelo, and most of their children are in show business but are also in politics. As we know, one of their sons is Senate President Vicente Sotto III, who is married to Helen Gamboa. Their daughter, Diorela Maria, is currently a counselor in Quezon, and their son, Giancarlo Sotto, is currently a vice mayor in Quezon City as well. Now, this is the brother of Senator Sotto, as we know, is Tito Sotto or Marvic Valentin Sotto. He had a relationship with Connie Reyes Luna, and as we know, their son is Mayor Victor Maria Reyes Sotto. Now, it is also interesting to note that although these are the legal descendants of legitimate descendants of Senator Sotto, his biography mentions several more children. In fact, if you take Senator Sotto before he was married, he had an affair with Aperta and they had a son named Cesar, who he actually recognized as his own son. Cesar Sotto later became a board member and then later as congressman in the district of the province that was before it was broken down into provinces. His first wife, Senator Vicente Sotto's first wife was Emily Isabel Ruiz. They had 5 children, but unfortunately, all of these children died young. He and Isabel divorced. They actually filed for divorce in the United States, which was later granted. Now, Vicente Sotto married Maria Cristina. Now, their children, as mentioned earlier, were Marcelino, Voltaire, Galileo, Tagacota, Britannia, and Suga. Even after marrying Maria Cristina, Vicente Sotto was actually by members, and he had a lot of other children. If you take a look at the names of his other recognized children, you can really see that he was a very cultured man, because many of his children reflected the names of either geography or names of historical figures like Julius, Noli, Francia, Lenin, Hispania, down to Rizalina Soto. They even had a child named Andrew Soto. So it's interesting that when you read the family tree of a certain person, you can also see how much of really just a regular person that person is. He was a great generation to Vicente Sotto III and their children, who are now very popular both in show business and in national and local politics. So that's it for my talk about the Sottos. This is just a very brief genealogy. If you'd like to learn more about the genealogy of other Filipino personalities, you can visit my YouTube channel at the Filipino Genealogy channel. Thank you.